Hello and welcome back to another video of Busy Man Reviews. Episode 11 of the final season of Attack on Titan was a dialogue-driven episode with every bit of dialogue being important. That is why in this video, I'm going to do a quick recap so I can focus more on the review. You can even skip the recap and go straight to review by using the timestamp down in the description. Gabby and Falco escapes from prison, where they bump into Kaya, who takes them to an orphanage where she lives. Although Kaya knew that they were Marlians, she helped them anyway and promised to take them to a Marlian volunteer who works at a nearby restaurant. As expected, Gabby continued to act as a fanatic, while Falco tried to talk some sense into her. We find out that Floke not only facilitated a meeting between Eren and Yelena just before the attack on Marley, but also that he leaked the information of Eren being imprisoned to the public in an attempt to pressure the military to release him from captivity, which eventually leads to his arrest and detention along with 3 other recruits. Kiyomi Azumabito visits Paradis to congratulate them on the victory in Liberio and presents the latest piece of military technology, a flying boat that is fueled by the ice burst stone extracted from the island. Back in Marley, Commander Magath and the warriors deduce that Zeke is still alive and that he turned against Marley. Magath informs them that a global attack will launch against Paradis within 6 months. Reiner argues that Marley cannot afford to give Zeke any more time and that they should launch a surprise attack on Paradis. This episode asks a particularly important question. Should someone or a group of people carry the sins of their ancestors? This question was raised during a discussion between Gabby and Kaya, when Kaya asked Gabby why humanity outside the walls considered them evil, and what was the reason for her mother got eaten by a titan in front of her. That is the same question that Eren asked to Reiner during their conversation in episode 5. However, the answer that we got from Gabby was quite different from the one that we got from Reiner. Unlike Reiner, Gabby did not show a shred of doubt nor sympathy, and gave her the evil race argument. And for the first time in Gabby's life, her indoctrinated ideas got challenged, when Kaya pointed out to her that her mother had nothing to do with the events which took place centuries ago. Gabby then argued that she just saw her hometown getting ravaged by Eren and the scouts, which Kaya also refuted, saying that her mother did not partake in any of the atrocities that happened to Liberio, as she died 4 years before that. She asked again for a reason for what happened, which she gets from Falco when he said that her mother was a victim of a reconnaissance mission that was in turn a part of the preparation of a full-scale war against the island. Although both Kaya and Eren witnessed their moms being devoured by a titan before being rescued from a certain death, we see that Kaya chose the path of forgiveness and peace, while Eren chose the path of revenge and war. Also, the revelation that Kaya's savior was in fact Sasha is not only a payoff for episode 2 of the 2nd season, but also a brilliant closure for Sasha's arc. You see, although Gabby murdered her in cold blood, Sasha managed to save Gabby twice. The first time was when she decided not to shoot her during the attack on Liberio, and the second time was by her saving Kaya and setting an example of selflessness, leading to not only Kaya helping Gabby, but also engaging in an eye-opening conversation with her. There was another difficult question during this episode, that is how much information should be made available to the public, especially during the time of war. In this episode we saw during a protest, people demanding from Hanji Zoe to explain why is Eren being detained, and why is Shiganshina being evacuated, which Zoe points out that it is being evacuated on the orders of the military police and not the scouts. Does that mean that they intend to activate the rumbling at Shiganshina? And if yes, why Shiganshina, Eren's hometown of all places? I guess we will find out later. Hanji Zoe, who we continue to see her struggling with the pressure of her new position as the commander of the Survey Corps, interrogated Flo and the other 3 soldiers who leaked the information about Eren being detained to the public, and we saw that Flo proudly embraced the charges, as he believes that Eren should be the one who leads the Eldians to the victory. I could understand why Floke is acting this way, after being the only survivor of the attack on the Beast Titan during the operation to reclaim Wall Maria. Floke came to the realization that they need a devil to lead them into victory, and Eren checks all the boxes for him. He is cunning, strong, and not afraid to get his hand dirty. We also got to see a conversation between Mikasa and Luis, one of our 4 recruits who leaked the information about Eren to the public, where we find out that she was among the people who Mikasa saved during the attack on Tros district in season 1. Luis explained her motives and then asked Mikasa if it is true that she joined the scouts for Eren. Mikasa then advised her to stop talking so she would not get herself into more trouble. But I doubt that the real reason Mikasa wanted her to stop talking was because she is having doubts about Eren. Mikasa then had a flashback of Eren saving her and killing one of the people, who kidnapped her as a kid. In the light of the new developments, I believe that this flashback not only shows why she feels in debt to Eren, but that she also realized that he showed signs of aggressiveness and vengefulness from the very first moment that they met each other. Although we saw Kiyomi Azumabito offering Paradis the new flying boat, we do not know yet its purpose and how it will be used in the war to come. It was clear from the meeting between Magath and the warrior unit that the first part of Wily Tiber plan was successful, as the world is now united against Paradis. However, whether they are now also sympathetic towards the aliens in the various interment zones around the globe remains unclear. Also, I've got to say that Reiner is turning out to be my favorite character during this season, and although I cannot bring myself to root for Marley, I cannot help but root for Reiner. After this episode, I think that we can all agree that Gabi's story arc is getting more interesting. I can't help but think that Marlene Volunteer, who is running the restaurant where Gabi and Falco are heading, is Nicolo, who was a close friend to Sasha, and who also knows that she was killed by a warrior candidate. Oh man, if this is the case, that should be one hell of an encounter. This episode had fantastic dialogue with not a single moment feeling like a filler, and although it mostly focused on secondary characters, it kept me engaged and caring the whole time. All these elements were presented with beautiful animation and a fantastic soundtrack. Hajime Isayama proved once again that his story is well thought out, with almost every moment getting a payoff later. What did you think of this episode? Feel free to share your opinions in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and see you soon with another video and another Busy Man review. Until next time.